Jayson Tatum was recently called the softest Boston Celtic. It's honestly comical that we're even talking about this because as Boston Celtics fans, we know this is a complete lie. Jayson Tatum has helped the Boston Celtics most recently hang up banner 18, and he was leading the statistics while he was doing it. So before we do hop into why I think this is just completely insane to ever look at Jayson Tatum and think that he is a soft player is beyond me. Before we do hop into that, I want to go ahead and ask you guys this question here. I know there's a lot of Celtics greats in franchise history. Do you think Jayson Tatum is on his way to be a top 5 Boston Celtic player of all time? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I know this can be a little bit controversial, but I just want to get a feel out there. See what Celtics fans are saying about Jayson Tatum, because honestly, when I watch him every single year, he continues to get better. And there's probably a lot of adjectives that I would use to call Jayson Tatum, but definitely not soft. So the reason why we're talking about this is because Brandon Jennings recently came on the Gilbert Arenas podcast, and he basically was questioning why Jayson Tatum didn't win the NBA Finals MVP or the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. If you're so tough, why didn't you just go out and win it yourself? And that's not how the Boston Celtics work. And just because Jayson Tatum didn't win an award after they already won the NBA championship, which is the highest award you can win in the NBA, doesn't mean that he's soft. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the one quote here that really stood out to me the most about why Brandon Jennings so-called thinks Tatum isn't tough. Brandon Jennings said, if you're so tough, why didn't you get Finals MVP last year? Why let your running mate, Jaylen Brown, do it? If you so tough, you saw all this, why didn't you get it? Once again, can Jayson Tatum ever do anything right in the terms of the media, if that's what you want to call Brandon Jennings, a former NBA player? This is absolutely comical. The Boston Celtics were the most ripped-apart championship team I have ever seen. Nobody was taking them seriously even after they won the NBA championship, and I don't see how you possibly can. Not to mention, you had the 2 highest-paid players in the NBA on the same team for a reason. Jayson Tatum is becoming a face of the league. A face of the league while the veterans are starting to find their way out of the NBA. LeBron James, Steph Curry, they're going to be gone in the next couple of years. And people are now going to start to look at the younger guys and the Luka, the Jayson Tatum, the Anthony Edwards to start to be the next face of the franchise. Jayson Tatum is a lot of things. He is a phenomenal basketball player. He's a good leader. He's starting to get a little bit chippy when it comes to the fouls and a little bit dramatic when it comes to the lack of foul calling. But it's absolutely comical to call him soft. And I just think that anybody is saying this isn't actually watching Boston Celtics basketball games. He is leading the team night in and night out. And even if he's not leading the team night in and night out, he's helping them. He's allowing his other teammates to thrive in whatever game it is they're playing, whether it's regular season or postseason. But let's talk about the postseason here real quick, because there's no secret Jayson Tatum has helped the Boston Celtics make the postseason every single year since he joined this team. And so far is averaging 24 points, 8 boards, 5 assists in 113 games in the playoffs in his career. None of those numbers scream soft to me. This is a leader. This is a guy that should be up for more awards than he already currently is. And this is just the playoffs, which matter most, right? Well, the regular season matters too, because this is what helps get you to the NBA playoffs. And what Jayson Tatum did last year to help lead his team to win banner 18, he led the team in points with 27 points a game. Rebounds with 8.1 points a game. Minutes, he was averaging the most minutes for the Boston Celtics. That's why there's JT next to all those. He is the leader in all of these categories, and if he's not the leader in assists, steals, and blocks, he is in the top 3 for Boston. So yes, Brandon Jennings, he didn't win the NBA Finals MVP because that's not how the Celtics are structured. They're not reliant on Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is a team player. Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal player on his own. Derek White, Holiday, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, we can go down the list. But something that I really liked that came out of this whole thing was that Jayson Tatum actually responded, which is very uncharacteristic for Jayson Tatum. He never, ever, ever respond. But I thought it was very interesting that Jayson Tatum, the Boston Celtics, even put this out on Twitter. And he basically commented in laughing emojis, softest player in Celtics history. Boston was here for it. Jayson Tatum put it on his Instagram and everything. So he saw it, and he really wanted to address it, which I was actually very glad that he did. I think Tatum rises above a lot of media hate. I think the Celtics do in general. But I'm also realizing the Celtics use all of this for chips on their shoulders, or as Joe Mazzulla likes to call it, a target. Not on their back, but right in between their forehead. So we're going to break down a new chip on Jayson Tatum's shoulder here in just a moment. But first, I want to go ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor. And of course, that is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I play Prize Picks every single game day. And I want you guys to join me and play along with me and 10 million active users. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats. And you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Oh yeah, baby. You heard me right. 1,000 times your cash. If you guys want to go ahead and test your skills, you can do so in over 30 different states, including Cali, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. And right now, there is a lot of football. All you guys have to do is just download the Prize Picks app, use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. If it's not an old so-and-so, Brandon Jennings, that is calling out Jayson Tatum for being too soft, then it's somebody else on the NBA media that's saying, can Jayson Tatum lead the Celtics to a championship? Yes. He did it. Well, can Jayson Tatum go back-to-back and do it? Can Jayson Tatum be the superstar in a team full of superstars? There is always some kind of title that they're trying to give Jayson Tatum. And, other greats deal with it too, Steph Curry and LeBron James. But it's one of those things where the Celtics are so good that Jayson Tatum doesn't need to be the Curry has to drop 35 points for us to win. LeBron James needs to feel himself on both sides of the court for the Lakers to win. Jayson Tatum is in a perfect situation because this system is built around teamwork. Jaylen Brown could be a star on his own at any other franchise. Tatum could. Derek White could. But that's not why Boston is the most dangerous team in the NBA. They're the most dangerous team because they have this great group of superstars that work together and take down opponents. And that's 10 times scarier to me to have to take down 5, 6, 7 guys than it is to take down one player. In Joe Mazzulla, I think they're just tired of hearing the narrative on Tatum. It's unfortunate that him in particular, but also players in general, feel like they have to fight for that constant affirmation. So the thing that I try to do the most is like when we don't have to be affirmed by other people's opinions. Jayson is an unbelievable player, a great player, one of the best Celtics players of all time. And the facts speak for themselves. Joe Mazzulla calling him one of the best Boston Celtics players of all time. That is a title you never want to forget. So if Jayson Tatum is considered one of the greats in Joe Mazzulla's eyes, and he's considered one of the greats in our eyes, why can't the media see this? What else does Tatum need to do to prove that he is a legit contender in the NBA? That he should be considered one of the greats, not just in Celtics history, but leading up and following into the NBA history. Because I know exactly what you guys are thinking. It's, well, Allie, he hasn't won the MVP. Yeah, he's got a championship, but he really needs the MVP. That's how he's going to win. Tatum has been year in and year out in the MVP conversation. Year in and year out. He has been a contender up against the greats in the NBA. Right now, he is fourth in MVP odds. SGA, Jokic, Giannis, and Wemby are obviously in the running there as well. But for Jayson Tatum to be in the running, the Milwaukee Bucks, they are Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Denver Nuggets, they are Nikola Jokic. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they are SGA. The Boston Celtics, that's not just Tatum. Tatum is a huge, huge factor in it, but it's not just Tatum. And we know the Boston Celtics do need Jayson Tatum, and they need Jaylen Brown. They need all those guys to win. That's why it's so great to watch them re-sign and continue to play together. But Tatum plays team basketball. Tatum has the opportunity to play team basketball because Joe Mazzulla structures the Celtics built around finding the most effective shot possible. If the most effective shot possible is always in Jayson Tatum's hands, guess what defenses are going to do? They're going to take away the most effective shot possible. But if you take Jayson Tatum and you're watching film and you're watching how to take down Jayson Tatum, A, there is no preparing for Jayson Tatum. B, Tatum is so good at assisting just as much as he is at scoring, just as much as he is at rebounding. So when Jayson Tatum decides to take his 6'8" body and drive down low and put something off the glass, if that shot's not there because they're cutting him off or coming in to double team him, a no-look pass to the corner, Jrue Holiday led the league in corner three-point percentage last season. You kick it out the other way, backdoor pass, Jaylen Brown, who can take flight from the free throw line. This is team basketball. The reason why you aren't thinking Jayson Tatum is among the greats is because the Boston Celtics are great. And Jayson Tatum is a part of that. Whew! Goodness gracious, I feel like the narratives, I felt like I've talked about this time and time again. Jayson Tatum doesn't have to go hard night in and night out because his team picks him up. Because Jaylen Brown is also averaging over 23 points a game. Because Derek White is leading the league in blocks from an under 6'4" player. There are so many factors that make the Boston Celtics so great that the media doesn't want to take into account that Jaylen Brown can also win an MVP. Jaylen Brown can also win a finals MVP. Derek White can win an all-star nod. Peyton Pritchard can win Sixth Man of the Year. Jrue Holiday can win Defensive Player of the Year. There are so many contenders on one team that Tatum doesn't have to wear himself out. These guys putting up triple-doubles in Jokic and LeBron James, they have to play good or their team doesn't win. Tatum and the Celtics, it's a different story. And I'm glad the Celtics are built this way. I would much rather be a team that has 7 superstars on it than 1. Because I think that just makes us 10 times more of a threat to win the real award here, which is the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Is Jayson Tatum soft? Type N for no. Type HN for hell no. If you say yes, you're not a Celtics fan. Type N for no. Type HN for hell no. And as always, hit that like button. Hit that sub button for me. I talk about Boston Celtics basketball day in and day out. So if you guys want to go ahead and help this channel grow, all you guys have to do is hit subscribe. And as always, hit that like button for me. And if you want to drop a comment down there, I'm definitely not going to be mad at that either. Go on ahead and sub for me.